Hello and welcome to USUALMIKE Television's first video for 2024. This is what's in store for the year. And how did last year go? Last year was, hot and cold. There's things I do that are expected of me because that's where my audience comes from. Star Wars news. Yes, I was a little lackluster on the Star Wars news. What I don't want to do is, like a lot of them, give it away quickly on Instagram, and then when I make a video, you already told me on Instagram, why do I want to watch it on the video? That's why I kind of keep it for the video and then put it on Instagram later on. We all do things differently, that's just how I operate. It is a very interesting time in the world of Star Wars. Yeah, this is why a lot of us talk about, action figures and not Star Wars itself. There's a lot going on. Check this out.
There's a woman destroying Star Wars as we speak. No, not that one. I now realise that doesn't really narrow it down. No, this is Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy, who's going to be directing the next Star Wars Rey movie. But Miss Sharmeen over here joins Disney Star Wars at an interesting time. But Sharmeen has a long, extensive career making activist documentaries about Pakistan.
Filmmaker and activist Sharmeen Obaid-Chinoy.
Which is where her interview comments come from.
We're in 2024 now, and I think it's about time that we had a woman.
No, not that one.
Come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
That one is specifically about Star Wars and shows that she hasn't changed.
We are about to create something very special.
Because there's an interesting thing that happens when you look back through her bibliography and realize what she's been doing and hear her talking about it herself.
I'm not a trained filmmaker, so I never went to film school.
When you find out that her only experience in this area is 2 episodes of Miss Marvel.
And studied economics and political science.
Won a couple of Oscars for documentaries, but never made a feature film.
I did my graduate studies, but also in international politics.
So when she made 2 episodes of Miss Marvel, they ended up having to reshoot the whole thing because it didn't work, as she didn't know what she was doing.
I am an accidental filmmaker.
Now this is understandable, you've been making documentaries, not feature movies. You know how to interview people, edit footage, make a documentary. So why are we giving you $200 or $300 million to make a Star Wars movie? Are you a massive fan of Star Wars, or do you just think
2024 now, and I think it's about time that we had a woman to shape the story.
Because it doesn't seem like you're a big fan of Star Wars when you don't know that they've already been doing it for a long time. They've been killing Star Wars for years. What are you gonna do, revive it so you can nail its corpse down again? Actually, as you do have Rey as the main character, it is a bit like necromancy in a way.
But it also played into all the tediously predictable tropes that have come to define the culture of modern Star Wars. The obsession with identity over personality, the narcissistic sense of entitlement, the trampling of the legacy of previous generations, the idea that you're owed something purely because of your gender, the realization that no matter how much ground is given and how many concessions are made, the demand will always be the same. More. And I think after enduring almost 10 years of smug, overpowered girl bosses who can magically do everything better than the men around them, the Star Wars fanbase are kind of over the whole female empowerment thing now. It's not new, groundbreaking, inventive or admirable anymore. It's become the norm, as tediously predictable and stale as the damsel in distress trope from decades earlier. The reality is that the stage had already been set for something like this when Obaid-Chinoy was first announced as director and people began to learn more about her background and career. A Pakistani journalist, documentary filmmaker and feminist activist whose main focus was on highlighting the plight of women in Pakistani culture. I mean, that's admirable work indeed, but the question on most people's minds was, what the fuck has that got to do with Star Wars?
What's happened with women in the Western world particularly is because there is no real oppression, but they want to be a victim so bad because victimhood is just a way of kind of shortcutting sympathy. Everyone just, it's just shortcut entitlement. You get what you want without having to earn it because you just happen to be a victim. So what happens is they want to start finding places where they can be a victim and then transform it so that they can become a hero. So what they'll do is say, oh, we need more women in this particular sport. Nobody watches them. Nobody wants women in there, but they'll just say, stamp their authority so they can be a local hero. Then we need more women in Star Wars. No, we don't. No one. Women don't even watch Star Wars. They don't even care about it. It's a man's little thing. Let them have it. But they want to be like, oh, there's such a deprivation. We got to be in it so they can be a mini hero. When you don't have anything outside of your gender as a way of being proud of yourself, you use your gender as a shortcut for entitlement and heroic stances. So I would just say, unfortunately, it is the norm in Western cultures to kind of over-identify with your gender and then over-identify with victimhood. It's a way of getting a shortcut to being a hero. And as a result, it's just there to design. And also what it does is keeps the power in the hands of the women. And whenever you redirect power entirely to women, just like if it was entirely to men, it creates an unhealthy society.
Phew. Anyway, I have recently come back from holidays, and as I said, this is the first video of the year. Don't count the live streams that I've done. I did a live stream that went into this year. That kind of counts as a video this year. And a clips video that was recorded on the 29th of December, and I put it this year. This is the official first video. Hooray! We got there. What are we expecting? First up, this year, as you know, I'm going to have to drop Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones Adventure Line has ceased to exist. I still have 4 characters to collect. They are of the following: the 2-pack with Renee and Marcus, the Temple Escape, the Cairo version of Indy, and the Temple of Doom version of Indy. On my holidays, I did manage to pick up Fleabag, Helena Shaw, and the hypnotized version of Indiana Jones as well. There will be an unboxing on those. And the closest thing we got to a playset, this was on sale. Yeah, it was $94.95 / $32.95, some wonderful price like that. Yeah, save a lot of money. Clearance in and out. So this year, yes, there will be the Star Wars news. I'll always cover conventions that drop a lot of product. G.I. Joe news, definitely cover a lot of product. And this year, I'll throw in a lot more vintage because we haven't got the Indiana Jones stuff to go to. And on top of that, unboxings, you know, and the best of the reviews that I can do. Collecting wise, for the personal collection, where am I at? Okay. So all the modern stuff that Hasbro will reveal this year, I will, obviously, like you guys are now, no one's a completist, I'll pick and choose. We had Book of Boba Fett, I was like collecting that stuff. Then Obi-Wan come along, I sort of collect a little bit of that stuff. And then Ahsoka, and I was just like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. OT for me. OT, if you don't know, is original trilogy. Original trilogy, if they announce some cool stuff throughout the year, yes, I'll pick that up. I don't have to pick up everything. You don't have to pick up anything. We collect what we like. We collect to our collection's needs. There'll be more shows coming. Obviously, there's like Skeleton Crew and Acolyte. If there's figures for those, I don't know. If it's good, I'll get into it. If not, I'll let others collect it. Poor old Hasbro over there saying, please be good. We want to make some sales. For the retro collection, OT stuff is where it's at. I didn't collect that Ahsoka one. I seen recently the Book of Boba Fett. I'm like, some of it looks good. Do I need it in my life? Probably not. So I've let that go too. I know there's some Phantom Menace stuff coming out, and I'm like, oh, the Darth Maul in there. I'm like, oh, very keen for that. We'll see when it gets here. We'll see. I may change my mind, but for now, it's a no. There is reports of even more after that. At least 2 more things coming after that. We'll report on that tomorrow in the Star Wars news. Vintage collection. I do love a good playset. If they drop another playset, much like our bunker up here, is it in shot? You know what I mean. If something like that from the original trilogy comes along, I'll be happy to collect that. I'm always up for a cool playset. And like I said before, original trilogy figures only. Black Series. I've slowed right down on Black Series. The boxes that turned into cardboard boxes with no windows really threw me off my game. Wasn't a fan. So, original trilogy only. G.I. Joe Classifieds. Yes, they went to boxes too, and I was like, I'm not really enjoying these. However, in my craziness, I even picked one up, like that. Yeah, very cool. This is Droids comic book. Also this year, I hope to finish the 96. The 96 is the Canon 96 figures. I have, let's have a look. This is the only of the, if you go Star Wars, Empire, and Jedi, the only 2 figures I need are removable limbs, C-3PO and Sensor Scope R2 to complete that. And then of the last 17, I need 16 because I have the Endor Luke. Whew. It's the focus I'll focus on because I can slow down on the modern and focus a little bit on that. Obviously, Ewoks and droids I'll be focusing a lot on and doing. I've done episode 1, there's more episodes coming, so I hope to fill out those lines during the year. If Hasbro continue with things like this and bring out more characters, stuff we haven't seen before in that sort of style, yes, I'm all over that too. Take from anyone? Adding new vintage lines to the mix. I've done a video on Ghostbusters Fright Features. There's a new line of that coming out in this year in 2024, and I'm collecting the old school stuff. I've got 1 to go, I got Egon to go, and I've completed that. Then I'll get all the new ones and keep them on card and keep them with them. I think that's cool. Another line I'm moving into, the Lone Ranger from Gabriel 1980. I am looking to complete. I think there's only 5 figures and 3 horses in the set. I might not need the horses, but I'll love to get the characters on card, loose, however I'm going to get them. That'll be an exciting little run to complete. And if you didn't know already, in the live stream at the end of the year that I did, it was like 3 hours long, I unboxed a wonderful gift from my buddy Keith Townsend and his wife Margaret, who gifted me a Hiss tank, and videos will be made on that. I can guarantee. I'm looking forward to that. I've taken it out of the box and lifted the lid off the box to look in there. It's like, oh, you know, I've handled a little bit of it and I've carefully put it back inside. I want to do it all properly. It's going to take a long time. It's going to be exciting. I'm going to enjoy it, and then find a spot to put him behind me. Oh man. I want to show you something I shared on the live stream. I cleaned him up really well. Look. Remember when I got him from Luke B? He had red all over his face, so someone's made him like, oh, he's all a bloody soldier. He looks fantastic. Spirit with his new O-ring in there. Still need to get him some long hair. He's had a haircut, that guy. Wild Weasel. Now, this guy, he was in pieces, and I've mended his leg up with a piece of Barbecue's leg because I had a spare Barbecue, and now Barbecue has a nice cream pair of pants from Leonard Core Avalanche. Excellent. So those guys, going with the original collection in there, and hopefully this year, there's no guarantee. I want to get to Joe Fest in June, meet up with all the guys from all around the world who are meeting there in Augusta, Georgia. Gonna be great. I am crossing my fingers and saving my pennies because I really want to go, and there's no confirmation yet, but I really want to go. And on top of that, thank you so much to all you guys who watch my videos, support me. Let me know in the comments what you want to see this year from me. I mean, like, I planned on doing a documentary on the floods that happened literally 2 years ago in February. And I've got footage, but I've got to put it all together and make some kind of, you know, masterpiece that might take an hour to put together. I mean, like, no, the video will be an hour long. That could be something to look forward to. But yeah, let me know what you want to see. That's the most important thing. I thank you for your support. More Star Wars news, more G.I. Joe news, lots more unboxings, lots more old school collections to collect. Look forward to seeing what you say down in the comment section below. Thank you so much. To support this channel, there is always ways you can go about it. Down in the description, you'll see links to merch, memberships, and affiliate links. Click on any of those to help support the channel. And if you haven't done so already, hit subscribe, tap that little bell for notifications, slap a like on this video if you've enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next one. All the best.